Hello and welcome to another edition of The Museum at Home, where we bring you some of our programming to you that you can do in your home with materials you probably already have around the house. All right, so today what I want to show you is how to do some screen printing. Now, it's a little bit different, so this is actually going to be printmaking, which, any kind of printmaking, you've got your screen printing, woodworking. So woodcut is actually where you get a piece of wood and they carve out little pieces. It's one of the oldest forms of printmaking there is. But I'm going to show you a way that we can do this at home using just paint, paper, maybe an old shirt or whatever you have, okay? So what I have here is just an example of some simple ones I've done. Now, they're not going to be as refined as something you would see like with our bee t-shirts that we make here, but you can still have fun with it and do all kinds of things. So I'm going to show you how you can do this using a piece of paper. So you'll see here that I have a piece of paper that's taped down onto the table. That's what I'm going to use to be what I'm going to print on. So this would be, you could use this like a t-shirt, you could have a piece of fabric, whatever you like. Then I'm going to take another piece of paper, okay? And this is where I'm going to cut out my design. So the easiest thing to do are geometric shapes or something fun and funky, okay? Try not to make it too exact, okay? But I'll show you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a heart. So sort of like what I have here, I'm going to make another heart. So the easiest thing to do is to fold this in half. And then I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to draw the round part. So if you see, if I were to fold this one in half, that's essentially the drawing I'm going to do, is I'm going to trace that exact kind of thing. So this half heart. That way you know your two sides are going to be the same. This one a bit bigger than the other one I did. Okay, then you've got this. You can use that for something else at some point, but this, you just need this part here, okay? So I'm going to set this on top, okay? Now I've taped this down so I don't want it to move around, okay? That's important. And I'm going to use a little bit of tape to tape down my cutout as well. So that makes sure that it won't move around on you. Okay, so that's on, it's not going anywhere. Then I'm going to use paint. So with your traditional printmaking and screen printing, you would use ink, because ink is a little bit thicker. It's not going to bleed through your edges, and it just gives that nice crisp look to it. And it's usually the same stuff that's in your pens. But we're going to use paint, which tends to be a little bit runnier, but it's easy to come by, okay? So I just have this black paint, and I'm just going to pour a little bit in here. And I'm going to take a brush. If you don't have a paintbrush, you can use, you can have your hands, but I would ask your mom or dad or whoever to make sure that that's okay. The other thing you can use is you can use your piece of paper, that piece that you cut out. Okay, I'll show you how you can do that. So I could actually dip this in if I wanted, okay? And I'm going to start with the edges, okay? Because you want to work your way from the edges on the inside out. That's how you know it's going to be nice and crisp. So see here, I could actually even use a piece of paper if I wanted to, okay? So if you don't have a paintbrush, you could do that. I'm going to show you with the paintbrush though. So it's just this easy sponge brush. You can use a sponge. And like I said, I'm going to go from the edges inward, okay? Because that makes sure that they're going to be the nicest, those nice crisp edges that we want. Nice sharp. Okay, so now I've done those nice edges, so then when you're in the middle, I can be a little bit messier. Okay. Now you don't want to add water. Why I'm not adding water is that's going to make it even thinner. And already, like I said, ink is thicker, which we normally would use, but if you add water to it, it's going to bleed through your edges and you don't want that, okay? Plus, if you've ever gotten paper wet, it's not a good look. Okay, so then, usually what you would do is wait for it to dry a little bit, but acrylic dries really fast. And I know my edges are going to be good, so I'm going to be careful. Take off my this, and then you have this lovely heart that you've designed, okay? Now you can get fun with a whole bunch of different colors. You can do different sizes, all kinds of things. You'll see here, I did this one and you can see all those little hearts inside. Now what I did there was I took some tape and I cut out little hearts with tape and stuck it down on my piece of cloth and did the exact same thing. So I'll show you, I have a shirt that I did earlier. Just make sure you don't get ink everywhere, or paint, I guess. Okay, so you'll see here, I have this shirt, so I put a board inside of it because I don't want any paint to bleed through to the back. So I did the same thing, I taped my picture, or my print on the top, okay? And I'm gonna peel that off. See the design I had, this kind of blob. Same thing, I went from the edges. You can tell that I did that. All right, now the moment of truth. I'm gonna peel off these little pieces of tape that I had on there, just these simple triangles. So you can start off with a basic shape to get used to it. So if you wanted to write your name, so my name is Riley, so I always kind of think the capital R has almost that little D shape in the middle of it. So you'd have to cut out all those little individual pieces. But if you feel ambitious, you can give that a try. Sometimes they're tricky to peel off, and you just want to make sure that you don't get a bunch of little bits all over you. So this part, it's very important that you do this once it's completely dry. So you're creating these negative shapes. There you go. So start off with something basic, and then always you can go back in and fill in these little spots with different colors. You can overlap, you can do all kinds of things to take it that next step. So that is the simple, easy way to do printmaking at home. So give it a try and have fun, and we'll see you next time. Thank you.